The Galactic Council was nervous. Zarathos 7 was called a Class 0 Deathworld for a reason. It was a place no one had ever survived for long. The air was thick with strange spores, the land full of sharp rocks, and dangerous animals hunted day and night. Many species had tried to live there, but none had succeeded. But the Council had a plan. They wanted to test humans. Humans had always surprised others with their strength and will to live. So, they sent a group of humans to Zarathos 7. The Council thought it would be an easy victory. The humans would fail fast. They thought it was just a matter of time before the humans were gone. The ship Odyssey landed with a soft thud on the rough surface. Captain Rin looked out of the window. She saw dark red skies and thick purple clouds moving slowly. The sun looked weak and tired. The trees were strange and twisted with sharp leaves. Some moved slightly, like they were alive in a way that was hard to understand. Captain Rin took a deep breath, though the air was hard to breathe even with their masks. "Let's move," she said to her team. They stepped outside, their boots crunching on the rocky ground. The first days were the hardest. The humans had to learn quickly how to survive. Water was rare. Food was harder to find. The team used machines to scan the ground and look for safe plants. Mara, the biologist, studied the strange life forms. She noticed something strange. Human sweat had special chemicals that could break down some of the toxic spores in the air. This meant humans could breathe longer without feeling sick. The dangers were everywhere. At night, huge beasts with glowing eyes and long claws hunted silently. The Karu, as the humans named them, were fast and deadly. One night, a Karu attacked their camp. The humans were scared, but they fought back with fire and weapons. They managed to scare the beast away, but it left scratches on one of the colonists. Every day brought new challenges. A small group went to collect water from a nearby stream. The water was filled with tiny creatures that could bite and sting. They had to find ways to filter it before they could drink. But humans did not lose hope. They worked together. They built strong shelters using local wood and stones. They used machines to make tools and weapons. Slowly, the group started to feel stronger. One of the young colonists, Jocks, found a small furry animal with 6 legs near their camp. It looked scared but curious. Jocks offered it some food. The animal took it and stayed close. The humans named it Drek. They soon realized the Drek could help them by warning about dangers. When a predator came close, the Drek made loud noises to alert the team. The Galactic Council watched these developments with surprise. The humans were doing more than surviving. They were adapting and changing the way they lived on. ZARATHOS-7. Captain Rin gathered her team one evening. "This planet is tough," she said, "but we are tougher. We'll learn. We will survive. This is our home now." The team nodded. They knew it wouldn't be easy. But they had a new hope, and that hope was human strength and will. It was no longer just a place of danger. It was becoming a place where humans could fight back and live. The days on Zarathos 7 were growing longer and harder. But the humans kept working. They had made their camp safer, learned to find food, even made friends with the small creatures called Dreks. But the planet was still full of dangers waiting to strike. One morning, Captain Rin woke to the sound of alarms. The camps. Sensors had detected movement. Something big was coming. The team quickly gathered, weapons ready. The sun was barely rising, casting a red light over the alien forest. From the thick shadows, a huge creature appeared. It was taller than any. Human, with thick black scales that shimmered in the light. Its eyes burned like fire, and its roar shook the ground. The humans knew this was one of the Karu beasts, but this was no ordinary one. It was bigger, faster, and more dangerous. The team tried to keep calm. Mara checked the scanners and said its skin is tough. Normal weapons might not work. Captain Rin ordered everyone to spread out and use their new traps. They had learned from earlier fights that fire scared the creatures, so they prepared flamethrowers and torches. The beast charged. It moved quickly through the trees, breaking branches and crashing into the ground. The humans fired their weapons, but the creature's thick scales stopped many bullets. got closer and closer, its sharp claws ready to strike. Jox the young colonist remembered the Drex. He whistled loudly. The small animals ran from the bushes, making loud noises and distracting the beast. It turned its head, confused. The humans used this moment to attack with fire. Flames shot from the flamethrowers, lighting the area. The Karu beast roared in pain and fear. It backed away, trying to find a safe place. But the humans didn't stop. They chased it, using their traps and teamwork. After a long fight, the beast ran deep into the forest, wounded but alive. Ash! The team cheered quietly. They had survived, and they had fought back stronger than before. Captain Rin looked at her team and said, "This planet tests us every day. But we are learning, and we are getting stronger." To live. Mara began studying the creature's scales. She thought that if they could understand its biology, they might create better weapons or armor. The Drex continued to help the humans by warning them of other dangers. As the weeks passed, the humans grew more skilled. They made better weapons, stronger shelters, and found new ways to use the planet's resources. They even began growing strange alien plants in small gardens near the camp. One day a scout returned with news. "We found a cave system nearby," he said. "It looks safe, and there might be fresh water inside." Captain Rin and her team decided to explore the caves. If they could find fresh water, it would be a great help. They packed their gear and set off early in the morning. Inside the caves, it was dark and cold. The walls glistened with strange minerals, and the air was fresh and clean. They followed the sound of dripping water and soon found an underground river. The water was clear and safe to drink. The team celebrated quietly. This discovery could change everything. With fresh water nearby, they could grow more food and stay longer outside the camp. But the caves also held secrets. Strange markings covered the walls. They looked like symbols carved by an unknown hand. Mara took pictures and said, "Someone was here before us." Captain Rin frowned. "Who? And where are they now?" The humans returned to camp with their discovery. The presence of another intelligent life on Zenith 7 was a new mystery. But for now, their priority was clear: survive, learn, and adapt. The Deathworld was dangerous. But humans were not just surviving, they were becoming a force to be reckoned with. After the discovery of the cave and the fresh water, the humans felt hopeful. For the first time, they were not just surviving, they were starting to grow stronger. But the strange symbols on the cave walls stayed in their minds. Who had carved them? And why? Mara couldn't stop thinking about the symbols, studying the pictures she had taken. "These shapes are too perfect to be random," she said. "Someone intelligent made them." Captain Rin agreed. She ordered a small team to return to the cave and explore further. "Take lights, tools, and be careful," she told them. The team returned to the caves the next morning. They followed the river deeper underground. As they walked, the walls became smoother, as if carved by machines. The symbols also changed. They became clearer, more organized. Suddenly they found a chamber. It was wide and round, with a high ceiling. In the center was a stone table, and on the walls were hundreds of symbols glowing faintly. The team stood in silence, amazed. Mara touched one of the glowing marks. The light grew brighter, and suddenly, a hologram appeared above the table. It showed a tall alien creature with 4 arms and silver eyes. It spoke in a strange language, then slowly changed into English. "To those who find this place, beware. This planet tests all life. Only the strongest, the cleverest, will survive." We were not strong enough. The message ended, and the room went dark again. The team looked at each other. "So, another species tried to live here before," whispered Jox, and they failed. Captain Rin, who had come with them, nodded slowly. "But they left this warning. Maybe they wanted someone else to succeed." Back at the camp, the team shared what they had found. The mood became serious. The planet was more than just dangerous, it was a test, kind of trial for any species that dared to stay. Mara began to study the alien symbols more deeply. She believed they held knowledge maybe about the planet, maybe even about survival secrets. If we can learn their language, she said, we might find something that helps us. Meanwhile, the humans continued to face daily threats. Acid storms rolled across the skies, forcing everyone inside for hours. Karu beasts attacked again, this time in groups. But the humans were ready. They had built stronger walls, better traps, and learned how to predict the beasts' behavior. Each attack made them smarter. Each problem made them tougher. The Galactic Council, watching from far away, was shocked. Their plan had failed. They had sent humans to die, but instead, the humans were building, learning, and adapting. One alien leader from the council named Velkar growled in anger. "How are they doing this?" he shouted. "No species has lasted this long." An older alien replied, "Perhaps we underestimated them." Back on Zenith 7, the humans found something new. Near the cave, they discovered ruins broken, machines, metal parts, and strange tools buried in the ground. It was proof that the alien species who left the message had once built something big here. Jocks picked up a small piece of metal. It had the same symbols as the cave wall. "What if we finish what they started?" he said. Captain Rin nodded. "That might be the key to survival. We'll learn everything they knew and then do better." As the humans set up a research area near the ruins, they didn't know that something was watching them. Deep in the forest, hidden by shadows, glowing eyes blinked. A new danger was waiting, something smarter, something older. But the humans weren't afraid anymore. They had come to the Deathworld as strangers. Now they were becoming part of it, stronger, smarter. They were ready for whatever came next. Life on Zenith 7 was not easy, but the humans were no longer just surviving, they were building a future. They had fresh water from the underground river. They had learned to farm local plants, and they had discovered the ruins of an ancient alien species. But something new had entered their lives, something quiet, hidden, watching at night. The camp's motion sensors started picking up strange signals, fast movements like someone or something walking just outside the walls. Captain Rin tightened security. Guards were posted. Lights were set up. But nothing showed up clearly. "We're being watched," said Jox, looking at the trees. "I can feel it," Mara agreed. She had seen broken branches near the ruins, not caused by beasts. "These weren't from animals," she said. "They were placed like someone didn't want us to go further." One evening, the Drex began acting strangely. They hid under shelters and refused to come out. Their fur stood up. Their small eyes stared into the forest. Then the lights flickered. The team rushed to check the power systems. Everything was working fine, but the lights dimmed for a few seconds again. Suddenly, from the edge of the forest, a figure appeared. It was tall and thin, with long limbs and glowing eyes. It didn't attack. It just stood there, watching. Everyone froze. No one moved. Captain Rin slowly stepped forward. "We are not your enemy," she said calmly. The figure tilted its head, then disappeared into the shadows like smoke. "What was that?" someone whispered. "I don't know," Rin replied. But it wasn't one of the Karu beasts. It looked ... intelligent. The next morning, Mara checked the area. She found footprints, 3 toes, deep marks, not human. And near the cave, she found something even stranger, a small metal object left behind. It was a kind of data chip, covered in alien symbols. They brought it back to camp. Using a translator program, they decoded a few lines. The message said, "Leave this place, the planet belongs to us now." Everyone stared at the screen. It wasn't just a warning, it was a claim. Another species was living on, Zenith 7, and they didn't want humans there. Captain Rin called a meeting. "We're not alone here," she said. "There's another intelligent species living in the deep forest. They may have survived the planet. Like us. What if they're the ones who left the cave message?" Jox asked. Mara shook her head. "No, the symbols are different. I think these are newer. These beings might have come later." "They might have been here the whole time," Rin added. "Watching, hiding, waiting." They increased the camp's defenses, but they didn't plan to leave. Humans had worked too hard to give up now. Instead, they decided to learn more. Over the next few days, small gifts began to appear near the edge of the forest. Clean water in crystal containers, pieces of unknown fruit, and even weapons made of strange black stone. "They're testing us," Mara said. "They're seeing how we react." Captain Rin left a gift in return: medical supplies, clean food packets, and tools. Then, one night, the figure returned. It stepped into the light and removed a mask from its face. It looked like a cross between reptile and insect, with dark skin and soft eyes. It placed a hand on its chest, then pointed toward the stars. "I think it's trying to speak," Jock said. The figure said something in its own language, then handed over a small glowing cube. Then it walked away. Back in the lab, Mara activated the cube. A hologram appeared, maps, star charts, and a message in broken English. "We survived. You did too. Maybe. We can survive together." Captain Rin looked at her team. This changes everything. Now humans had a choice: stay alone, or try to make peace with the hidden survivors of the Deathworld. But one thing was clear: this planet was no longer just a test, it was becoming a new home. The message was clear. The hidden species living on Zenith 7 was not just watching, they had survived like the humans, and now they were offering something: a message of possible peace. But could they be trusted? Captain Rin studied the hologram cube again and again. The maps showed areas of the planet the humans hadn't explored yet. Strange symbols marked dangerous zones. Other places were marked green safe zones. Maybe Mara continued decoding the alien language. "They call themselves the Varani," she said. "They have lived here for generations. Maybe even longer than we thought." Some team members were excited. "If we work together, maybe we can build something better," Jock said with hope in his voice. But others were afraid. "What if it's a trick?" one of the engineers asked. "What if they're leading us into a trap?" Rin remained calm. "Stay careful, but we don't close the door. We've survived this long by working with the unknown. We'll move forward one step at a time." The next day, the Varani returned. This time, not just one, but 5 of them appeared at the forest edge. They stood tall, each wearing a different kind of armor made from black stone and plant fibers. Their leader, the one who had first given the cube, stepped forward. He spoke in slow, broken English. "You, ... fight strong, not die, like others. You, respect land, that is good." Captain Rin nodded. "We want peace, want to learn." The Varani nodded too. Then ... come. Rin chose a small group. Mara, Jackson, 2 guards. Followed the Varani deep into the forest. The path was quiet, but full of beauty: glowing plants, crystal flowers, and soft lights that moved in the air like tiny stars. After 2 hours, they reached a hidden valley. In the middle stood a village, made of tall trees woven into living homes. The structures breathed gently, like they were alive. Waterfalls poured into clear pools. Children of the Varani played with small glowing insects. It was peaceful and completely unexpected. "This is amazing," Mara whispered. The Varani leader, who now introduced himself as Eshel, showed them around. He explained how their people had once come from the stars like the humans. But after a great war, they chose to stay hidden and live with the planet instead of fighting it. "We adapt," Eshel said. "Planet test us. We learn, we change. You are changing." 2. They sat together in a circle. Eshel offered them a drink made from local fruits. It tasted strange, but refreshing. "Together," he said, raising the cup. Captain Rin raised her own. "Together." Back at the camp, the rest of the humans waited nervously. But when Rin's team returned safely, smiling with food and gifts, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. "They're not enemies," Rin said. "They're survivors like us, and they have knowledge we don't." Over the next weeks, the humans and the Varani began to share things. Humans taught them how to use metal tools and solar power. The Varani showed the humans how to move through the forest without being attacked, how to use plants for healing, and how to tame larger animals together. They built a shared outpost between the forest and the human camp, a place of meeting, trade, and trust. But not everything was safe. The Galactic Council, watching from far away, was alarmed. "They've made contact?" one of the alien leaders said angrily. "With survivors? That's not possible. They are learning. They are uniting," another replied. "Then it's time to act. We cannot allow this to continue." Back on Zerathos 7, the humans and Varani prepared for a better future. They had no idea that a new storm was coming, not from the planet, but from the sky. The alliance between the humans and the Varani had changed everything. For the first time, both species were sharing knowledge, food, tools, and ideas. A shared outpost was built where humans and Varani worked together. Smiles and laughter filled the air. It looked like peace had finally come to the deadly world of Zerathos-7. But peace never lasts forever. One evening, as the sky turned orange and the suns began to set, a strange sound echoed across the valley. Ah! It wasn't the sound of a beast. It was deeper, louder, mechanical. Everyone looked up. In the sky, black dots appeared. First they looked like birds, but as they came closer, the truth became clear. Ships. Large, cold, metallic ships, not from Zerathos-7. Captain Rin grabbed her comes. "Rin of Colony Unit 9. Identify yourselves." No response. The ships grew larger and louder. The Varani ran to their trees, hiding the young. Humans armed themselves. Something wasn't right. Then the sky opened with fire. Bright beams shot from the ships, hitting the outer forest. Trees burned. Ground exploded. The peace shattered in seconds. The Galactic Council had returned, but not to talk. "They're trying to destroy the Alliance," Mara shouted. "They see us as a threat." Captain Rin ordered everyone to retreat to the main camp. The Varani followed, using hidden forest paths. The Dreks squealed, running beside their human companions. The Council ships sent down troops, robots. With glowing red eyes and sharp weapons, they marched with perfect timing, destroying everything in their path. But the humans were ready. And now they weren't alone. Varani warriors, riding armored beasts, charged from the trees. Humans fired from the rooftops of their shelters. The once small colony had turned into a fortress of survival. Jax ran with a group of Varani, throwing small explosive devices into the legs of the robot soldiers. Mara worked with Eshel, the Varani leader, to guide the wounded into the caves. Captain Rin stood at the command center, watching the battle unfold. "They thought we would break," she said. "But we are stronger than before." The fight lasted all night. The ground shook, the sky burned, and the air was filled with screams, gunfire, and roars. But something was different this time. The humans and Varani were united, fought together, covering each other, protecting each other. By morning, dozens of council machines lay broken in the dirt. Some humans were wounded, a few lost. But the Alliance stood firm. The main camp had survived the first wave. Inside the command tent, Captain Rin looked at the battle map. "They'll come again," she said. "This was only the beginning." Eshel nodded. "We must strike first. Show them we are not prey," Mara added. "We can use the alien ruins, the technology, the maps they left behind. We're not just survivors anymore. We're defenders." Something changed in the hearts of the colonists. They were no longer visitors on Zerathos 7. This was their home now, a home they were willing to fight for. "Jox helped repair broken walls. They wanted us to fail," he said. "But every time they try to crush us, we grow stronger." Above them, one of the council ships burned in the sky, crashing into the mountains with a loud boom. The planet itself seemed to roar with the people who now called it theirs. And while the council planned their next attack, the humans and Varani were already preparing. They were learning, building, and planning something the council had never expected. Revenge was coming. The sun rose slowly over Zerathos 7, casting red light across the battered camp. Smoke still floated in the air. The trees near the edge of the forest were blackened from fire. The humans and the Varani stood side by side, tired but standing strong. Captain Rin looked over her people. Many were injured, some were gone. None had given up. "We didn't come here to fight a war," she said, "but we won't let them take our home." Eshel, the Varani leader, nodded. "We fight not just for survival, we fight for freedom." The Galactic Council had sent more warships. Their goal was clear: wipe out the colony, destroy the Varani, and take control of the planet. The humans had a plan. Mara had studied the ancient ruins and the alien technology. "This planet has old power buried deep inside," she explained. "We can use it." Deep underground, the Varani had hidden a device, something the ancient race had built long ago. It was not a weapon, but a kind of defense system. If activated, it could create a protective shield around the valley. But it needs time to charge, Mara warned. And during that time, someone has to hold the line. Rin gathered her best fighters, humans and Varani, together. "We hold the line," she said. "We hold it no matter what." The final battle began just before sunset. Council ships filled the sky again, this time with more troops, more machines, and stronger weapons. The valley shook as lasers hit the ground. But the defenders were ready. Humans in battle armor fired from behind rocky walls. Varani archers, fast and silent, struck from the trees. The Drexas, once just small helpers, now carried supplies and pulled the wounded to safety. Jox fought bravely, leading a group of young warriors into the front lines. "They think we're weak," he shouted. "Let's show them we're not." Explosions rocked the land, but the humans didn't fall back. They pushed forward, holding every inch of ground. In the cave, Mara and Eshel worked on the old device. Lights blinked slowly as the ancient machine powered up. "Just a little longer," Mara whispered. The council troops pushed harder, sending in large mechs that crushed everything in their path. One of them broke through the human line. "Captain." Rin herself ran forward, climbing on top of the machine. She placed a charge near its core and jumped away just as it exploded. The ground shook. Dust filled the air. Finally, the device in the cave let out a loud hum. A beam of light shot into the sky, and then silence. A blue shield formed over the valley. Council ships tried to fire, but the beams bounced off. Their weapons were useless. Inside the shield, the humans and Varani cheered. "They can't touch us now," Mara said with a smile. Outside, the council ships hovered for a moment, then turned and began to retreat. They had lost. Inside the command center, Captain Rin looked at the star map. "They'll be back someday," she said. "But when they come, they'll find us ready." Eshel placed a hand on her shoulder. "Together, we are stronger than they ever imagined." The valley slowly began to heal. Trees grew again. The joint outpost became a new kind of city, half human, half Varani. Children played in open fields. Fires became cooking flames instead of war. The Galactic Council had wanted to use Zenith 7 as a punishment. But instead, it had become a symbol of hope, strength, and unity. From a Class 0 Deathworld, the planet had become something else. A home. And the message was now clear across the stars. Never underestimate humanity.